Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video on the Infinite Baffle channel. My name is Niall and today we're bringing back a kind of video we've not done for quite some time, but one that you guys seem to normally really enjoy. We've got a head-to-head, a versus, a battle to the death, if you will. Perhaps not quite that extreme, but today we've got USA versus Great Britain. Representing the UK, we've got the ProAc DT8s on my DT8s even on my left-hand side here, and then on the right, representing the USA, the KLH Model Fives, two of our favourite speakers around the £3,000 price point, and today we're going to compare them both, see how they stack up against each other. If you do enjoy this video and enjoy this style of video in particular, make sure to leave a thumbs up on it and let us know in the comment section what kind of head-to-heads you'd like to see in the future, and we'll always see what we can do to bring those to you guys. As always as well, make sure you subscribe for weekly hi-fi content on the channel. Really appreciate your support in allowing us to do what we do here. But yeah, USA versus Great Britain, the UK, let's get into it. I think the most logical way to do this is to break the speakers down, look at one, then the other, and then go head to head and just see exactly how they do stack up. And given that we're here in England ourselves, I think it only makes sense that we start off on home turf. So with the speaker to my left here, the ProAc DT8s. Now, ProAc are a brand that we absolutely love here on the channel. A massive fan of a lot of what they have to offer, and the DT8s really do capture that ProAc styling and sound, very much a natural, detailed, warm kind of presentation that they give you, and something that, as I say, ProAc themselves are pretty synonymous with. The DT8s are definitely a more traditional approach to what you expect a floor standing speaker to be. They've got a really nice quality finish to them. They come in a variety of finishes from the likes of black satin, white, oak, mahogany, walnut, tons and tons of options in terms of finishes. They've actually got a really nice little base at the bottom, like a little plinth that supports the main part of the cabinet. They come weighing in at 26 kg per speaker, so a decent weight to them as well, and the overall finish and aesthetic of them I think is top notch. As I say, a real quality feel to the cabinets, and again, you'd expect nothing less from ProAc. You can see on the front of the cabinet you're greeted with the two 6.5-inch drivers, one of which is to manage mid-range and one the low end, but both of these kind of work in tandem to produce that natural detailed sound, and a big part of that of course is also the tweeter, the 1-inch silk dome tweeter that you get with the DT8s. As I say, a classic ProAc design. If you turn them around, you can see on the back you've got the gold-plated speaker terminals. They are bi-wireable, so if you did want to do that, you have the option to do so. And another really nice touch, again, I think this is kind of what it's all about when you get to these kind of levels of speaker. The really nice touch is the little plaque on the back, which confirms the speaker details, serial number, model, all of that kind of stuff, which again, is just something I think is just a nice touch and looks absolutely, again, makes it feel like a premium product. Looking at some of the tech specs behind the DT8s and the performance on paper, they have a frequency response range of 38 Hz to 30 kHz, and they have a sensitivity rating of 90 dB. ProAc recommend an amplifier in the power range of 20 to 180 watts to be using these, but of course, as always, you kind of want to be around the middle to high end of that range to really be maximizing the performance. Switching things over now to the KLH Model Fives, these are a classic example of American hi-fi in my opinion, and although there is a lot in common between the DT8s and the Model 5s, the approach and the engineering behind them is very different. Now, as opposed to a standard traditional floor stander, the KLHs are actually an acoustically suspended speaker. They come with the little stand at the bottom and then the speaker sits on top of it. One thing that I love about all of the KLH speakers, they have this in the 3s, the 5s and the 7s, is the ability to adjust the frequency on the back of the speaker. This allows you to really tune them to a room a lot easier. So you combine the fact that you can adjust that and the fact that they're a sealed cabinet, it means that housing these in any setting should be a lot easier than what would be with a traditional floor stander. There's a lot less options on the finish side when it comes to the Model 5s here. They only come in a Nordic Noir, effectively a black, an English walnut, and then a West African mahogany. So a lot less choices on that front, but still, I think all three are pretty neutral and could fit into a lot of areas. I love the way that the grille kind of pops off against the finish, and that's the same no matter what finish you go for. I think it looks absolutely stunning, and this is another example of where I think this speaker looks a lot better with the grille on as opposed to the grille off. This, of course, not really as much of a concern with the ProAcs, where it's only a smaller grille, and I would actually say I prefer the grill off with the ProAcs. With the riser below the speaker, the Model 5s actually come up to a very, very similar height to something like the DT8s here, and the cabinet is a little bit wider as well. So they're actually, in theory, a little bit more difficult to find room for physically, but then I think because you've got the frequency dial on the back and the fact that they're sealed, housing these shouldn't be too much of a problem to work with a lot of spaces. The Model 5s have a frequency response range of 42 Hz to 20,000 Hz, a sensitivity rating of 90.5 dB, and KLH recommending amp power between 20 to 200 watts to get the most out, well, to power them, to get the most out of them, I should say. Again, you're going to be looking at somewhere around the middle to higher end of that. So again, on paper, specs-wise, quite similar numbers from both parties. I will, of course, link both the speakers in the description down below on the AudioFR website. That's where we do all of our listening and testing. You can find all of the specifications in full for both speakers there. But yeah, similar numbers from both parts, similar kind of feel to them. Both have got a very quality premium finish, yet both appear very differently and both definitely have very different strengths and weaknesses, which you might not think when you look at them on paper. So head to head then, just how do these speakers compare against each other? I mean, we mentioned at the top of the video, these are two speakers around the £3,000 mark that we are huge fans of both, and I do genuinely feel like if you were torn between the two, it would very much be a case of personal preference rather than one being way better than the other. It's very much the beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Now, when we listen to them, because both have very similar power requirements, we were able to have the same system, which obviously helped a lot in terms of comparing them and A to B in them. That system revolved around the Goldnote IS1000 amplifier, an amplifier that we covered fairly recently on the channel in its own right. So if you are interested, I'll put a link to that video down in the description as well, so you can see all about that amplifier. Really powerful, great partnership with both of these speakers and really helped bring the most out of both of them, it felt like. So yeah, do feel free to check that out if you are interested. But two sublime speakers, but which one did I think had the edge? So the first point of comparison is going to be the design. Now, both of these look absolutely stunning. I don't think either one is a bad looking speaker. Again, this is going to be a lot of beauty in the eye of the beholder, but for me, if I was choosing for my listening space, I would lean towards the KLH personally. The reason being is I actually really like the way it looks on the stand, and I think the finishes would fit into my space a little bit better. I also think, again, because my listening space isn't absolutely huge, the ability to adjust the frequency on the back, I think would work really well to help me tune them to the room. And on top of that, because it is a smaller space, I do think that the ProAcs would struggle to stretch their legs for me. Now, if you've got a bigger space, I do think that would be a very different answer. But again, if we're strictly speaking, what do I prefer? What would I be going for? What's my opinion? Personally, I would lean towards the KLH in design, but again, both of them are beautiful looking speakers. That brings me on to the first point of comparison actually when it comes to the sound of the things, because I do think that although the KLH is a wider speaker, you might think that the soundstage there is going to be a bit more spread out, a bit more separated, but actually I find that to be more the case when it comes to the ProAcs. So if you're someone out there with a larger space, you enjoy the separation side of your soundstage, I do think that the ProAcs give you a bit more there in comparison. And I do think a big part of that is that the fact that they're a lot more detailed in their sound compared to the KLHs. The KLHs definitely have a bit more of a laid back presentation to them, whereas the ProAcs do feel a little bit more analytical. And I use the word analytical with a bit of, I don't want to use that word because I don't find them fatiguing. I think sometimes when you think of the word analytical, you think of like a studio speaker, something that is hard to listen to over long periods of time. And I don't think that the ProAcs are that at all. I think they are still a pretty warm speaker, but I don't think they're quite as warm and definitely not as laid back as something like the Model 5 here. Now again, this is going to be, some people are going to prefer the detail that the ProAc gives you. Some people are going to prefer the laid back sound of the Model 5. For example, if you're someone out there that's got a vast record collection, especially if the records are of an older nature, I feel like the Model 5s aren't going to show the flaws quite so much compared to something like the DT8s. But then again, if you love that detailed aspect of listening to vinyl and picking out things in the background that you're not always able to hear, something like the DT8 would definitely give you more than that compared to something like the Model 5. Something that I've mentioned when we've covered KLH speakers in the past is that I do think that they're definitely a speaker manufacturer that tunes their speakers with music in mind. I don't think they're really too fussed about the AV side of things at all. They're definitely a speaker that feels more at home when you've got a record on or just listening to music generally. And I would also put ProAc in that same kind of category. But again, I think KLH are more on the extreme end of that side of things. So if you're someone that was listening to your speakers for both music and AV, whilst I don't think either speaker's massively suited for it, the ProAcs would definitely be the one that would work better. I would say, however, that I think both speakers would benefit from a subwoofer if you were using them in that kind of setting. Again, if you listen to just music, I don't think a subwoofer would be massively necessary, but in the AV world, I do think that low end is something that's really, really important. So again, I think the ProAcs would be better in that kind of setting, but again, I would still recommend using a subwoofer with them. The low end in both speakers is really different as well, actually, and I think when you compare the two and the fact they're both musical speakers, it is interesting because the way it works with the DT8s, because you've got that larger soundstage to work with almost, the low end feels like it really rolls off and the extension feels a lot more present compared to the Model 5s, where the bass feels a bit more accurate, I would say, but it's also working in a much tighter kind of sphere. The soundstage is a little bit smaller, so it feels like the presentation is more there and all coming at you together in a really balanced way that's really enjoyable, but you're not able to quite pick out everything as much as you can with the DT8s here, where the separation will allow you to go, okay, you know, you can hear the violin coming from there and the vocals coming at you more centrally and maybe the drums over to that side. You see what I mean? The separation being greater on the DT8s just means that the bass is tuned to that as opposed to being a bit more tight, punchy and precise as it is with the Model 5s. And I've just mentioned the vocals. One thing that I always love, and I mention it time and time again on the channel, is that I love when vocals are really front and center of a presentation of a speaker, and that is definitely more the case when it comes to the Model 5s here. And I think that again is because it's working in a smaller sphere, so to speak, they do just feel like they're a bit more at the forefront. I think they're still fairly central actually in terms of the DT8s, and I would argue that they actually sound a bit more natural and crisp on the DT8, but they're a bit more apparent in the presentation with the Model 5. I think overall, again, I've got to say both speakers are absolutely brilliant, and I think the use case is really going to be the defining factor as to which one you were to go for if these were the two that you were deciding between. I think if you were using these in two systems in terms of AV and music and other stuff as well, then the DT8s would definitely be the go-to for me in that kind of situation. I think though both are definitely more musical leaning than anything else, the DT8s are definitely the more flexible, the more, what's the word that I'm looking for? They're a lot more versatile as a speaker compared to the KLH, which to me is almost an exclusively musical experience when you're listening to them. Both, of course, are at a very similar price point. They're both at very different designs, and I think the design again could be literally the deciding factor, because maybe you haven't got the space to fit in the Model 5. Maybe the traditional floor standing design is one that you prefer. If you're operating in a smaller room, I would definitely say that the KLH would be the one to go for, because I think the ProAcs really need to stretch their legs for you to be getting the most out of them. Whereas again, the combination of the sealed cabinet and the frequency response dial on the back means that you can adjust these to fit a room much, much easier than the ProAcs. But I think if it was me, I'm not going to sit on the fence. If I was the person that was buying these, if it was my money and my system that I've got at home, personally, I would go for the KLHs. But again, I think that's more to do with the fact that I'm operating in a smaller window. I'm operating in a smaller space, sorry, is what I'm saying, which is where the KLHs would work a lot better. And I also only use my speakers for music. I'm not fussed about them being so great on the AV side. I'm not interested in getting a subwoofer in the mix particularly. So for me, my listening needs and what I use them for, the KLHs would be the go-to choice. And again, I think if you're someone out there that's really valuing the music side of the system, both are brilliant, but I do think the KLHs just shade it. But I'd love to know if you've listened to one of these speakers, both of these speakers. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. As I mentioned at the start of the video as well, this is something that we're going to be doing more frequently, more versus videos, more head-to-heads with different speakers. So if there is a particular speaker or other piece of hi-fi equipment that you'd like to see compared against another, let us know in the comment section down below. Thank you again for tuning in. Your support on the channel is always massively appreciated. I hope you have a wonderful bank holiday weekend if you're in the UK, and we'll speak to you all in the next one, guys. See you soon.